The auburn-haired woman talking to Henderson took a final sip of cranberry juice and tapped the empty glass with a spoon to make it ring. "Everybody, we're all here. Time to work." She introduced herself and the blonde. "I'm Tricia Boone of Mason, Tano, Whitehead & Boone, and Michelle Cornell is an associate with our firm. We represent Lara Grandfelt." She reached out and touched the diamond-studded woman. "We're here to help Lara launch a long-delayed quest. I will let Lara tell you about it and say only that our firm is firmly behind her whenever our legal services may be needed." Grandfelt smiled, turned to look at everyone in the group, and said, "What we're going to do is we're going to find the monster who killed my twin sister. That was more than 20 years ago now, and that's long enough to know he's roaming free." Lucas scratched his forehead, an unconscious gesture of skepticism, and Grandfelt caught it. "Marshal Davenport doesn't think we'll get anywhere, but he doesn't know what we're going to do," she said. Boone jumped back in. "Why don't we all sit down? I believe there are enough chairs." They all did, and Grandfelt said to Boone, "You were going to fill in some background?" Boone nodded. "Yes." She opened a file folder on her lap, cleared her throat, and said, "Lara Grandfelt and her sister, Doris, both graduated from Minnesota colleges. Actually, Lara was at the university just before the turn of the century. Lara studied finance and economics, and Doris studied accounting at Manifold College in Northfield. After graduation, she said, the sisters found jobs in the Twin Cities, Lara with U.S. Bank in their wealth management department, and Doris with a local accounting firm. 3 years after graduation, Doris was brutally murdered, a murder that was never solved. In the years between the murder and the present, Boone said, Lara left the bank to begin her own wealth management firm. She has done very well with it. Lara's not ridiculously rich, but she's done very, very well. Is that correct, Lara?" Grandfelt nodded and said, "Yes." Boone said, "I'm reviewing all of this so that we're all on the same page, and so we know that the money involved in this project, I'm coming to that, was legitimately sourced. So, Lara has asked Mason, Tano, Whitehead, and Boone to set up a project designed to investigate and find the perpetrator of the rape and murder of her sister, Doris." "Neither Virgil nor I worked that case," Lucas began. "We know. We've done the research. You were starting your own company, Davenport Simulations, and Virgil was in the Army. The State Bureau of Criminal Apprehension handled the investigation," Boone said. "When you, Lucas, later went to the BCA, Lara told me she spoke to you once about the lack of progress in the investigation. She got you to review the files, with no result." "Yes, I remember it now." Lucas shrugged. "The BCA ran a good investigation, but there was nothing to go on. They never got to first base." Boone said, "I understand. Lara, however, has been unable to escape the gravity of the murder. She can't escape the injustice of it." "That's true," Grandfelt said, looking around at the crowd again. "So she wants Virgil and me to reinvestigate, and Elmer and Edie and John are here to strong-arm us into it if we need strong-arming," Lucas said. "I wouldn't have chosen that precise phrase, but that captures the substance of it," Boone agreed. "What are you going to do?" Virgil asked Grandfelt. Before she could answer, Boone stepped in again. "Lara has directed our firm to post a $5 million reward for information leading to the identification of the killer. The reward is to be made as a gift of gratitude to the person or persons who provide the information. If that passes muster with our tax people, and I'm told that it should, the gift will be tax-free. If somebody wins it, they'll get to keep the whole amount. Later today, and we've already prepared this, the reward will be posted on all the major true crime sites on the Internet." Virgil said, "Wow." Boone laid out the details. She expected a lot of people would be digging into the case, and Michelle Cornell would be in charge of reviewing submissions by what Boone called the true crime researchers. Anything that seemed even slightly relevant would be forwarded to Lucas and Virgil. Lucas, as a deputy federal marshal, and Virgil, as a BCA agent, would have the legal authority together to get almost anything that needed to be gotten, to kick down any doors that needed to be kicked. We have the complete investigative files from the BCA and Woodbury, every piece of paper they have already in-house. We didn't steal them. That's absolutely legal under Minnesota law. If we find that they've held anything back, we will sue them, Boone told Lucas. Lucas: And you'll post them? The files? Yes, including the crime scene photos. Lara has seen them and wants them on the sites. Grandfelt said, I can't tell you how painful that was, seeing those photographs. Her lip trembled, but she kept her chin up. I'm set on this. If you need anything from me, anything, day or night, you call. If for some reason I can't answer, my personal assistant will. She reached out and touched the woman in the gray suit. Marcia Wise. She'll find me wherever I am. You will have personal numbers for both of us. Virgil. You will be stirring up a storm, and you will have no control over it. We will be complying with Lara's wishes, which are perfectly legal, Boone said, her voice gone sharp. Frankly, we tried to talk her out of this, but she insisted. She is the client. The client does not have to accept our recommendations. So it's a done deal, Lucas said. Grandfelt nodded, and Boone said, Yes, it is.